And the second book that I'm gonna read, finally, the internet is the most horrible thing in the world. I feel like I'm always looking at web pages that as I'm trying to scroll, they keep loading more stuff and moving. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Reading in the Dark. My name is Byron, and I read sometimes in the dark, as it happens. So here we are in the dark, and I'm talking to you about books. This video is going to be rather brief. This is going to basically be a TBR and my announcement video for my participation in a short little readathon, a queer lit readathon that is only 2 days. So what is the queer lit readathon? It is a readathon that has been hosted for many years by Kathy Trithart. I hope I'm saying your last name correctly, Kathy. They have full readathons every year. They had their 5th full week-long readathon, and the next full one will be the 6th round. In 2020, however, they're announcing a Queer Weekends, which is basically a 2-day readathon that eschews the use of fancy readathon prompts like read a book with blurple on the cover or stuff like that, and just says read queer books. So there's no challenges, there are no prompts, there are no bingo cards. I don't really know how that works or what that is. I've never done a bingo card for a readathon before, but I'm not going to be doing one now either because they're not doing them. I will obviously link to her announcement video in the description below and in the card right there, unless of course this is many years later after I filmed it and YouTube has done away with cards in the same way that they did away with annotations, and in which case I'm pointing at nothing, but whatever. So the first queer weekend was March 28th and 29th, which I obviously missed. The first full readathon, which I believe was round 5, was May 31st through June 6th. And now I'm picking up halfway through their 2020 calendar for this second autumn queer weekend, which will be roughly a week from now, the 26th and the 27th. So let's get to the books. One of them is physical and one of them is going to be an e-read, and actually the one that's physical is right here. Okay, I was like, I know I have it. Anyway, so the first book I'm going to read is The 5 Stages of Andrew Brawley by Shaun Hutchinson. I've talked about this book before because I think it was maybe in a contemporary-thon TBR of mine and I never got to it. And if you look at the back of the book, he's sort of peeking up at you in a somewhat creepy way. This book is partially told through graphic novel moments because Drew draws his own graphic novels. And so part of the book is told in that style. And the artwork is by Christine Larson. This is a young adult book about a young man whose entire family is killed in a horrible car accident. I think this is a coming out story, I'm not 100% sure. Andrew Brawley was supposed to die that night. His parents did, and so did his sister, but he survived. Now he lives in the hospital. He serves food in the cafeteria, he hangs out with the nurses, and he sleeps in a forgotten supply closet. He blends into near invisibility, hiding from his past, his guilt, and those who are trying to find him. Then one night, a boy named Rusty is wheeled into the ER, burned on half his body by hateful classmates. His agony calls out to Drew like a beacon, pulling them together through all their pain and grief. In Rusty, Drew sees hope, happiness, and a future for both of them. A future outside of the hospital and away from their pasts. But Drew knows life is never that simple. Death roams the hospital, searching for Drew, and now Rusty. So that is The 5 Stages of Andrew Brawley by Shaun Hutchinson. I think I'm going to do this one first, because the second book I want to read is like a spooky thriller, and that will help me transition into October. This is also an Own Voices read because Shaun Hutchinson is out. In fact, he has a memoir called Brave Face that I think I really want to read, but I could end up reading this and hating his writing, so who knows? Really cool format, really interesting and intriguing story. I'm sure it's going to be a tearjerker. I'm really looking forward to it. And the second book that I'm going to read, finally, is A Density of Souls by Christopher Rice. This is like the quintessential gay thriller from sort of the quintessential gay thriller author. Christopher Rice is, yes, the son of Anne Rice, and he said once in an interview, I'm gonna look it up what he said. The internet is the most horrible thing in the world. I feel like I'm always looking at web pages that as I'm trying to scroll, they keep loading more stuff and moving. This is from the Vampire Chronicles wiki. It says he's openly gay and his works consist of descriptions of contemporary American life for the gay male. When asked in 2002 about, quote, being pegged a gay writer, he replied, "That's not what I do. I might be open to that label if I hadn't introduced ensemble casts of characters. Granted, A Density of Souls is as close to a gay book as you can get. It revolves around a character's homosexuality, and others are described in terms of their reaction to the one character's sexuality. In that sense, it's at the core of the book. The Snow Garden is about identity. With this book, I'm trying to shrug off the term gay author. Nevertheless, Rice is proud of his large following in the gay community, explaining, quote, "It was incredibly rewarding when I got a huge positive response from the character Stephen in The Density of Souls." It's funny that he called it The Density of Souls, and it's actually called A Density of Souls. It's your own book, Chris. More than 1,000 young gay men contacted me and said that I captured what it was like for them going through those years. That means everything to me. So, all of that being said, it's also nice to be able to point out that A Density of Souls dealing with gay issues is also a hashtag Own Voices read. I really enjoyed The Snow Garden. I read it a long time ago, and I want to reread it. Four childhood friends in present-day New Orleans are torn apart by envy, passion, and a secret murder. 5 years ago, Meredith, Brandon, Greg, and Stephen quickly discover the fragile boundaries between friendship and betrayal as they enter high school and form new allegiances. Meredith, Brandon, and Greg gain popularity, while Stephen is viciously treated as an outcast. Then, two violent deaths destroy the already delicate bonds of their friendship. When the friends are drawn back together, new facts about their mutual history are exposed, and what was held to be a tragic accident is revealed as murder. As the true story emerges, other secrets begin to unravel, with more dangerous, far-reaching consequences. A Density of Souls is a stunning debut novel that uncovers the darker side of the teenage psyche. So it's almost sort of, I mean, it's not young adult, but it sort of deals with young adult issues and coming out. And it is probably going to be triggering. My own coming out was fraught with enough drama that I should be sufficiently triggered, but prepared to handle that. So yeah, that's my TBR for this queer weekend. I'm really excited to take part. I've never taken part in any of the Queer Lit Readathons in the past. So that is my TBR for the Queer Lit Readathon Queer Weekend taking place this Saturday and Sunday, September 26th and 27th of 2020. And I would imagine that I will probably want to take part in the next full round, which is round 6 of Queer Lit Readathon, which is taking place between November 29th and December 5th. So that's my TBR. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to hit that like button, give me a thumbs up, that helps me a lot. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. If you have any suggestions of queer authors or queer books, please leave them in the comments below. If you have any comments or ideas or thoughts about the books, the 2 books that I mentioned for this readathon, feel free to put them below. The comment box is your friend. And until next time, I will be here in the dark, queerly reading.